Today we're going to be talking to Bonnie Meyer.
Okay.
She's a UFO contactee, and she lives in Neenah, Wisconsin. And we're going to be talking about her first experience that she had with the aliens. Can you tell us when your first contact was?
It was in 1976, the 200th anniversary of our country, and it was on the 4th of July weekend. I had been camping with my family and decided that I was going to go to a UFO meeting that night. And I did with a girlfriend. And on the way home, for some reason or another, I took the back road into the campground. And as I turned onto the road, I could see the Bean City sign, and never did reach the bar that's in Bean City because a UFO came down, hovered over the road, and an alien got out and he went. And I went, I don't think so. I was scared. Because I had heard so many people say, they take you against your will and all that kind of stuff. And because I wasn't willing to go, they started to leave, and I thought, oh my God, if they leave, I may never get this chance again. So
Right.
I decided to go with them.
So you felt intuitively then that this was a different type of experience from an abduction experience?
Well, yeah, they were willing to leave because I was scared, and I thought, I can't miss this opportunity. And so I decided to go. And it was my choice.
So you had a feeling inside of yourself that these were benevolent?
Oh yes, yes. I thought if they're willing to leave and I'm upset, then they can't be bad.
And was there somebody else with you?
Yes, my girlfriend was with me, and she's the one who got me into investigating UFOs in the first place. So.
Okay. And do you remember seeing her on board the craft?
Not really. Not really. I don't remember seeing her, but it's really strange because we knew something had happened, but we really didn't know exactly everything that happened. And so we decided that maybe we should go to a hypnotist and maybe find out what really happened. And we were both very short of money, so we decided, unless somebody does it for free, we can't do this. And it took us quite a few years to find someone who would do it absolutely free. And he was not only a hypnotist, but he was a therapist. And he was willing to do it free, and he had no idea anything about UFOs. He didn't know anything about aliens, so he couldn't lead us in any direction. And once we got into the office and he hypnotized us, it all came back in a flood. And since then, I've been able to remember a lot about my experiences because he gave me the permission to do it. He said, you have nothing to fear. You can stop it if you want to. You don't have to go with them. They will honor you, and if they don't honor you, you don't want to go with them.
So when you started having your recall with the hypnotist, this was not a traumatic experience for you, or it was a traumatic experience for you when you began having your recall with the hypnotist?
It was amazing to me because at that time it was first starting to come out about aliens abducting people and doing terrible experiments with them, and it wasn't like that at all. It was so different. I was invited in, and they let me look around the ship, and what amazed me is it was a silver round ship. It was wider than the highway. Well, it wasn't really highway, back road, but it was wider than the road. And once I got inside, it looked much bigger than it did on the outside. That was so amazing to me. I just stood around gawking and looking, and I saw all the panels and the way to drive the craft, and they let me sit down in the driver's seat, and I punched a few buttons, and I kind of scared myself because all of a sudden the ship went up, and all I could see was stars.
Stars, beautiful stars, and so close and bright and nothing like you see from the earth. And then I must have hit something else and we started going down and I could see trees, and actually my stomach was doing flip-flops, like when you go over a bump in the road and your stomach kind of goes ooh. And I actually felt a little uneasy. I could actually feel my stomach going that when I remembered. But then they talked to me. As I said, I didn't see my girlfriend. She was another part of the ship, I believe. But they gave me some instructions, and they gave me a sign that if I saw it, I would know it was from them. And if I was ever in trouble, I should look for that sign. And that I haven't shared with anybody because I don't want anybody doing that to me, using that sign. I have seen it once in my life since then, and it was when I was worried that I was going to have an accident on a bus. And a fellow came with a symbol, and he calmed me down and told me everything would be all right, and that's fine, and just calm down. And I did, and everything was safe.
So you feel that you don't want somebody to use the symbol outside of it being authentic from what you knew your contact was?
Right, and that I have not put in any of my books, and I have not shared it with a lot of people.
Can you tell us what the beings on the ship looked like?
These beings were short. They came up to about my shoulder, and I'm 5'6". So they came up about that, and they had silver suits on, silver boots. It was tight at the ankles and it was tight at the sleeves, and they had what looked like to me a motorcycle helmet, and the faceplate was dark, like the motorcycle helmets are, and I couldn't really see the face, but I felt great compassion from them, and when they touched me, I felt very safe and secure, and it was a wonderful experience.
Did you feel that you had known these beings from before and this was another reintroduction to them?
I thought that they would help me on my path of finding more answers about UFOs and aliens. I felt that they had come to help me. So when the trip was over, I don't know how I got out of the craft, but I was out of the craft and my car was sitting there. And I thought, gosh, this is really strange. And I looked around and nothing seemed familiar. It wasn't where we had left from. Found out later that it was on the other side of town on a different highway, someplace I didn't even recognize. So drove around for quite a while before I finally found a road I recognized and could get back to the campground. And by that time, one of my other girlfriends was there, and she said, "Where have you been? You said you were coming right straight back from the meeting, and it's now 12:30. Uh-oh. We left the meeting at 10 o'clock. And it's now 12:30, and she was upset because she was watching all our kids. That's 3 families of kids. There was about 11 of them. So she had her hands full watching 11 kids.
Right.
And she was upset. She thought something had happened to us.
So it sounds like that you did have some missing time then, but it sounds also to me that it is not as your typical missing time that you hear about, as it was not a traumatic experience for you, and you did have recall of it.
Right.
And
Right.
you went
To find out more about it, more answers. And once went to the psychotherapist, and
He said, "I believe you 100%.